everyone, happy college football. Welcome to Porcelain Picks. This is week 2's version of Porcelain Audit, coming to you on a Monday afternoon. After a week 2 that had a lot of ups and downs for the Porcelain boys, we finished the week at 6-7 after a horrific start. We had a few bad beats. We do not make excuses here, but we do hold ourselves accountable. That's why we have the Porcelain Audit Show, because we at Porcelain Picks are charged with giving you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. So we'll dive in. This brought us to a 15-18 record. We're 4.5 units in the red so far on the young season. It's just week 2, a lot of season. We've learned a lot. We will do better week 3 and moving forward. So hopefully the best is yet to come. We're confident of that. We appreciate you following us. Subscribe to the video. You'll see my new release coming out this Thursday or Friday, depending on whether we pick any of the Thursday night matchups. Joey Mack has been hot. We'll dig into that next. But let's jump into the action. All right, we started with Friday night. We had Duke at Northwestern. I told you this was going to go under 37.5. If I could pick this game 10 times, I would pick it under 37.5 again 10 times. This was the right pick. This was a tie game. Going into overtime, 21 points scored in overtime brought you to your under. It went 46 points total, 47 points total. This was an easy under pick in the wind of Chicago, the wind on Lake Michigan. But ultimately, we lose in the double overtime, and that happens from time to time. So we take our L and we move on. All right, the Saturday action. We move on to Bowling Green at Penn State, the noon kickoff. This was a Jersey Joey Mack, Maction pick of the week. Like usual, Joey Mack is on fire to start the season, all right? He picked the over in this game. He said Bowling Green was going to be able to throw the ball around on Penn State, and that they did. They caught a flat Nittany Lions squad coming off a big victory at West Virginia in week 1. Bowling Green controlled a lot of the play in the first half. They had 24 on Penn State in the first half of this game. So that over 49.5 was never in doubt. This one was a lock 'em, flush 'em. Good work by Joey Mack. My pick in this game was dead wrong. I said Penn State would come out and they'd easily run up the score in this one. I thought this was going to be a get-right game for the offense. I thought they were going to be able to flex a lot of their new plays, get a lot of their freshmen and sophomores in for some snaps and some touches and some touchdowns. I said Penn State 34.5 point favorite to take that. I was wrong. So Joey Mack, you saved us in that game. Let's hit the other noon matchup, the biggest game of the week, Texas at Michigan. So coming into this game, I told you it was going to be a little bit of a low-scoring affair in the first half. That it was. Michigan could not move the ball on Texas. Texas came in. They looked like the much better team from the get-go. I told you to take the first half under as the defense is flexed early. That was at 21.5. Some of you before the game started, if you got in late, would have seen 20.5. I got it at 21.5. Again, this was the right pick. Michigan had the ball while the score was locked in at 21. They were driving. They fumbled the ball. Texas comes in and gets a field goal to end the half to put it over that 21.5 first half. So we got this one wrong again, all right? So we go to the last noon game in the session. So Kansas State was facing Tulane. I liked the under in this game. Kansas State does not score points on the road. 47.5 was the under. I liked Tulane in this game, but that was the only pick, the 47.5 under. I thought Kansas State was going to come out and not do too much on Tulane. I actually thought Tulane was going to win the game. They almost did, but Kansas State proved me dead wrong. Kansas State put up some points. They came out with the victory. Under 47.5 was not even close. This was a bad pick by me. Let's move to the 3:30 slate. We had South Carolina at Kentucky, a real snooze fest of an SEC bottom feeder battle. I told you South Carolina's offense was terrible. Kentucky, just a slow pace offense with Mike Stoops. They don't have much talent on the offensive side of the football. Kentucky was embarrassed in this game. I told you to take under 42.5. This one got us back on track. This one hit under 42.5. This was a lock it. This was a flush it. We move on from that SEC battle. All right. The next game, we had Iowa State at Iowa. This over-under was 36.5. I stayed away from it. Last season, we took the under, and luckily we stayed away from it, but we still came away with an L in this game. I told you to take Iowa minus 2.5. It looked great early. They were moving the ball. Iowa State couldn't do anything on offense. Iowa State's linebacking core is hurt. Their offensive line was hurt for this game. But ultimately, they came away with the victory on a last-second field goal. Even if they missed that field goal, we lose. It was a 2-point lead that Iowa had. I had them 2.5. So this one was dead wrong as well. Iowa, the stinker. We're probably going to go back to fading that offense and taking the unders next week. So stay tuned, all right? Moving into a good part of our day, all right? We really needed it with the 7:30 slate. This slate saved our week and kept it just at 6 and 7. It could have been a lot worse. Luckily, we had the Colorado at Nebraska game. For some reason, the spread favored Colorado a bit more than they should. We saw right through that. We see right through Dion. This guy cannot coach this program against the top schools. And this was just another testament of that, all right? Colorado came in. We liked the first half under in this game. It was at 28.5 at the time of the recording. That's what we locked it in at. It did go to 27.5, so I hope you didn't take it at that place because it ended up with 28 points in the first half. So that's a lock it, flush it for the under in the first half. I said Colorado was going to struggle to move the ball early. They were going to try to be more methodical. Nebraska was going to try to squeeze them out. That's exactly what happened. So that under hit in the first half. I was a little bit, on the fence of whether I thought Shedeur was going to be able to come away with a big performance in the second half. He did not. Colorado got exposed. I told you to take Nebraska -6.5. The spread should have been much higher. Nebraska didn't get any favors here with the public. And the pundits coming in hot on Colorado and on Dion. But ultimately, again, exposed. Nebraska had their way. This is a good Nebraska team, but this is a not-so-good Colorado team. I think they'll go 4-8, 5-7 at best in the Big 12 this season. So we'll move on. 2 victories in that game, and they weren't that difficult for us. All right, Tennessee at NC State. So I said Tennessee -9.5 in this game. I thought they'd easily win this bout against NC State. We also like the over 60.5. Both of those were victorious. The over was in question a little bit, but you had Heisman hopeful Nico Iamaleava. I'm going to get better at that as the year goes on, but this kid is for real. He can run the ball. He can sling it around. NC State had no chance in this game, so this was an easy win. Elite defense on the Tennessee side. This is actually a national championship contender. I'm going to go out and say that in week 2. Probably an overreaction until they face some more big boys in the SEC, which they will. They'll get their shot, but I'm really high on the Vols. I think they're going to have an excellent season. This was 2 victories in this game as well, so thanks to Tennessee and the Vols for that one. All right, the last game of the night that we bet on, App State at Clemson. I told you to take App State +17, and I told you to take the under 52.5. This bet was lost in the first quarter. Clemson came out with a vengeance. They were up 35-0 before we knew it. They were up 42-0 before we knew it. App State never stood a chance. These guys didn't even get off the bus. I was texting with Joey Mack during this game. We were laughing about how ridiculous this was. App State had their hopes high that they could be the Group of 5 contender for the playoffs this year. That went bye-bye with this game. They did not show up. Clemson and Kate Klubnik really took it personally with the Porcelain picks being a little bit down on him last week. So this is 2 losses. Horrible bets on our end. So hopefully you didn't follow us there. Maybe you faded us at the end of the weekend. That would have been good for you. All right. So again, we went 6 and 7 on the week. We pledged to do better. We're learning a lot with this transfer portal. There's no excuses, but a lot of new looks on these teams, a lot of new coaches, a lot of new systems that these players are getting accustomed to. We feel good about the look forward. We feel good about week 3. We're going to continue to bring you the locks you need as you scroll atop the Porcelain throne. So for Porcelain Picks, for Joey Mack, I'm Andrew Fabian. Over and out. We'll see you week 3.